Hey, shalom, 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 Israel. Yahweh Bahashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai Barakathum. I hope the family is loving everything that's happening right now in this world. Hope y'all are having a wonderful night. This is Warzone Wednesdays. I'm Brother Mahar. We're going to go around the panel and introduce the usual suspects. And then we're going to get into some prophecy.
Hey, it's Brother Ram. Shalom.
Hey, shalom, shalom to the 12 tribes spread abroad. It's your brother Shapar.
Hey, Shalom, this your brother Kazak. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, this your brother Shalak.
Hey, Shalom, Shalom, Israel. This your brother Yashawan by Yahweh.
Hey, shalom, shalom, brother Yashu.
And if you don't know who we are by now, uh, I don't know. I think you've been on a rock. We are Yahweh's camp, and this world is going to hell in a handbasket, so to speak, as the quote says. Going to hell with gasoline drawers on, and we love it. We love it. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to cover a little bit of current events. We're going to go into some prophecy. We're going to line it all up. As you know, Israel, I hope you can hear the air quotes or feel the air quotes, is being attacked by Palestine. And of course, there's a big back and forth going on between them, and the borders are being crossed, and people are getting killed, and people are getting kidnapped, and babies are getting slaughtered, and a whole bunch of madness is occurring right now in the world, right? But this is all Bible prophecy, right? What y'all brothers think about what's going on in the world? Bring your thoughts out.
All praises.
Hey, all praises to the Most High, right? The Most High, hey, he fighting for us in these last days. He got our enemies destroying each other, right? All praises.
God, it's definitely a mighty time, mighty time. Right? Shalom to the family out there. Like I said before, I hope you brothers and sisters are doing well in the spirit, keeping the commandments, honoring your heavenly Father, right? Trying to make your election sure, you know. These are some real exciting times, right? So, who want to bring out the first precept? Let's see. I got some precepts lined up over here.
You could go ahead and start it off, King, and then we can get into them articles I sent you.
Okay, Con. So let's see. We're gonna start off. I want to say, let's start off in Second Esdras, one of the favorites. We're either gonna start off in 13 or we're gonna start off in 15. I'm not sure which one we're gonna start off at. Let me
So
go.
you could start off in 13 because I
Start
got
off
15
13.
written down already. Yeah, we can get
Okay.
into that later.
Con. All right. So Locky, let me pull this up real quick. Yeah, that's a good one. Salakia, give me 1 second. I'm just lining these precepts up. Um, mm-mm-mm. Matter of fact, let's go into. While I look for those, I want you guys to check out a few of these videos with all the madness that's going on in the world right now. Oh man. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? It's lucky. I think I'm in the wrong chapter. Hold on. Hmm. Damn, I think I want to start in 15, but I guess we can start at 29. All right, somebody read this for me. We're going to start off at 2nd Esdras chapter 13 and verse 29.
Khan, I could read it for you.
Bring it out.
2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another.
And that is exactly what Salaki, okay? And that is what we are seeing right now, right? It started with Russia and Ukraine, right? Russia attacking Ukraine. And the reason of them attacking Ukraine was so that they can get Ukraine back as a province of Russia, right? But there's always underlying issues when it comes to Esau. Keep going, King.
One city against another.
Mm-hmm.
One place against another.
Mm-hmm.
One people against another.
Oh.
And one realm against another.
Yep. And it's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. Keep going.
And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen, which I shewed thee before. And and then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending.
Right. So when it's talking about my son shall be declared, of course, we know that that's talking about Yahweh Shai, whom thou sawest as a man ascending. Where do we see him ascending? Let's go to where we saw him ascending. What is it, Matthew 27? Bear with me 1 second. Salakia, which verse am I looking for? Talking about? I'm pretty sure it's in Acts, where it talks about Yahweh Shai going up into the clouds.
It's Acts 1 and 9, brother.
All right, let's go there. The water. All right, so it's the book of Acts, chapter 1 and verse 9. And when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. And that's talking about Yahweh Shai when he was taken up in a cloud, of course. And as you know, he's sitting on the right hand of his father, but it's time for his return, right? Things are getting worse in the earth. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. You know, we're hearing of wars and rumors of wars. We're seeing wars and we're seeing the rumors of wars. You know, these are all the beginning of the beginning of the end. So let me pull up some more videos for you. King Yashawan, you got that? You wanted to go into your second Esdras?
Con, you go pull up them articles.
Yeah, let me pull them up right now. Let's see. Here is the first article. All right. It's talking about Israel cutting off the water supply to Gaza.
Con, you wanna can somebody read that?
Salakia. It says, we have no water. Gaza faces deeper humanitarian crisis as Israel tightens its hold. Did you want to watch the video too, or just?
Con, you can play the video.
Okay.
The Gaza City neighborhood, once known as El Rimel, the Sands, reduced to ashes. Its residents retrieve what they can, which isn't much. Israel continues to pound the strip, targeting, it says, Hamas infrastructure. Residents in shock are asking why. I got married this year, says Yahya Lahuel. What did I do? What have we done? You destroyed an entire neighborhood. He says he never fired a rocket. In this, one of the most densely populated patches of land on Earth, bombs crashing into crowded neighborhoods rarely differentiate between fighter and civilian. The death toll rises by the hour, while Gaza's hospitals are overwhelmed with the wounded, including infants. Around 40% of the population of Gaza is under the age of 15, according to the CIA. The Information Ministry in Gaza reports that nearly 170 buildings have been destroyed and more than 12,000 residences damaged. Tens of thousands have fled their homes, seeking refuge in UN schools converted into shelters. An oven in this bakery in Gaza City is shut down, many of the shelves empty. Life here was already difficult, and now the future looks bleaker than ever. Gaza will take 5 years to raise its head after this, says Wahiba Sirsawi. And after 5 years, there will be 2 or 3 more wars. It's a catastrophe. And amidst all this, somewhere in Gaza, only Hamas knows where, are more than 100 Israeli captives, fates unknown. Tuesday afternoon, Israel struck Gaza's only port, used principally by fishermen. While at the same time, Hamas unleashed a massive volley of rockets toward Ashkelon. The abyss approaches.
So let's stop right there. Hey, Shapar, can you give me Matthew 24 and verse 3? And Kazak, you there, Kazak?
Khan, I'm here.
Khan, can you give me the book of Second Esdras, chapter 6, verse 9? And Ephraim, can we read the first part of this article?
It says a humanitarian crisis is swiftly unfolding in Gaza as trapped residents, many cut off from food and electricity, face a fourth day of Israeli airstrikes in response to Hamas' deadly attack on Israel, which killed at least 1,200 people per public broadcaster Khan and took up to 150 hostages. Nadine Abdul Latif, 13, of Gaza's city's Al Ramal neighborhood, said she and her family were told by neighbors and relatives to leave on Monday after Israel said it would target the area. But they decided to stay as we have no safe place to go, she said. Her father, Nihad, has been missing since Saturday. He had been working in Israel, but after Hamas' Saturday attack, the family lost touch with him.
Khan, so let's stop right there, right? So we bring out, these current events and all these different lessons and prophecies that we go into to warn our people, right? These are the things that we've been warning our people about for years to come, right? But our people think that, they think we out there playing games, right? They look at us like, oh, that's just them niggas on the street running their mouth. They just talking, right? But now you see all these things come to pass, right? And soon to come, the things that's happening in the so-called Middle East go come to America, right? So let's get that Matthew 24, verse 3, right? So a lot of people, they were shocked when they seen this, right? The average, so-called American, when they heard this news, they didn't know how to react, right? A lot of people panicking. They're like, "Oh my goodness, what's going on?" Right? But we've been talking about this stuff for years, right? I don't get surprised when I see stuff like this, right? And we go into it and show you why. So let's start at verse 3.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 3. And it reads, And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming?
Right. So
And
let's stop right there. So the disciples came to Yahushua and they asked him, "What's gonna be the signs of his coming?" Right. So in these last days, we know we in this season, right? We don't know exactly when the Lord coming, because he coming as a thief in the night, but we got the prophecies to line up to let us know that we in the season of his coming, right? So we don't know exactly when he's coming, but we know we in that time frame, right? Based upon the things that's happening on the earth, right? So they said, "What shall be the sign of thy coming?" Right. So let's finish verse 3.
come. And it says, and of the end of the world.
And of the end of the world, right? So they asked them when it's basically what's gonna be happening in the last days when it's the end of the world, right? And we know we living in those last days right now because of the things that's happening, right? So let's read that Kazakh second Esdras 6 and 9. So they asked him what's gonna be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world, right? What is that talking about? Right, that's the world we living in right now. Right, this is Esau's world, right? When you go into the history and you link up the different kingdoms and you go into the different prophecies, like even in the book of Daniel, right? When you go into chapter 2, right, chapter 7, chapter 8, when Daniel had these different visions about the different kingdoms that was gonna rule on the earth, right? So we know we living in that last kingdom, right? This is an extension of the Greco-Roman Empire, right? So bring that out in Second Ezra 6 and 9.
Con, this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world.
Right, so let's stop right there. For Esau is the end of the world. Right? So the disciples asked him, it says in verse 3, it says, and of the end of the world. What world is that talking about? That's talking about this world that we're reading about in Second Esdras. For Esau is the end of the world, right? So this is the end of Esau's kingdom, right? So let's finish reading.
Con. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Right, so Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, right? So that's telling you that our kingdom is coming up next, right? The kingdom of the saints, right? Just like Daniel 7 and 18 says, the saints shall take the kingdom, right? So how we gonna know it's the end of Esau's kingdom, right? Because that's what it's talking about. The kingdom that we in right now, this is Esau's kingdom, right? But his kingdom is coming to an end. And we can tell by looking at the things that's going on the earth and linking them up with these prophecies, right? So, Shapar, can we get Matthew 24 and can you jump to verse 5?
King. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 5. And it reads, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many.
And that's going on the earth right now. Right? I ain't gonna name no names, but hey, we all know it's a few people out here claiming, to be the Messiah, right? Claiming to be the Son of Man, right? So that's happening on the earth right now. So that's just one of the signs, right? Read on.
Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See
Right.
that.
So let's stop right there. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And we bring this out all the time, right? And we go keep bringing it out because that's talking about the things that's going on the earth right now. We literally living in the times where all you hear about is wars and rumors of wars. That's all you hear about, right? We hear about all the wars and rumors of wars going on with the United Nations, right? You got Russia, Ukraine, China, and Taiwan, right? Now you got Israel and Palestine, and this ain't nothing new. They've been going at it for years. So just a few years ago, they was going at it, and for those who can remember, that was out here in Raleigh. They had the Palestinians was out there marching right here in downtown Raleigh, right? So they been going at it, right? And we go get into it a little later because that just goes to show you that that land don't belong to neither of them nations, right? And that goes to show you that God's chosen people is not living in that land today, right? So let's finish reading.
Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled.
Right? So Yahweh Shah told us to be not troubled, right? See, a lot of our people that's living in the world, they troubled, right? Because they don't really know what's going on. Right? Like I said, a lot of people see what's going on and they terrified, right? But when we see these things, we rejoice, right? Like we opened up, we say, hey, all praises to the Most High, right? And a lot of people don't understand that, right? A lot of people go get mad. Why you guys saying all praises about, you got people out here losing their lives, right? People out here getting kidnapped. People don't got no food, right? Right? What you saying all praises for? We need to be praying for these people, right? Now you got people talking about we should pray for Israel, right? We should pray for Palestine, right? I want to know one so-called Palestinian that ever prayed for the so-called Black and Hispanic community, right? What Palestinian was praying for our people, right? What Palestinian was praying for Trayvon Martin, right? George Floyd, right? Breonna Taylor, right? What was the so-called Israelis? When was they praying for our people, right? Right. So we rejoice. Hey, the Lord said, "Be not troubled," right? So we're not troubled in these times, right? We're rejoicing in these times to see the destruction upon our enemies, right? So let's read on.
Come. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Right.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom
Right.
against.
So we got nation against nation, right? And that's what you see in the so-called Middle East. You got all these different heathen nations going to war. And this is just the beginning, right? So you got nations rising up against nations and kingdom against kingdoms, right? Right, you got two nations fighting over a land that don't belong to neither one of them, right? So that's why that destruction is happening, right? That's why we not go pray for the Israelis, right? We not go pray for the Palestinians, right? Right. The only thing we go pray for is pray that they continue to destroy each other, right? So let's read on.
Come. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places.
So let's stop right there. And there shall be famines, right? What we just read in that article. Matter of fact, Ephraim, let's go back to that article real quick. What does the Lord say? Nation go rise against nation, right? You go hear of wars and rumors of wars, right? And it's gonna be famines, right? Let's go back. Matter of fact, let's read the title of the article again.
Con. The title is "We Have No Water."
And we have no water, right? You see that? Now these people, right? You got all this destruction going on over there in that land, and now you got people, right? Women and children without water, right? Think about that, right? And let's go back to the was it more on that article?
Con. There's still a whole bunch more paragraphs talking about the Gaza Strip. Right here. The defense minister. This was actually what I was trying to look for, where the Israeli defense minister, right? He was saying
Mm-hmm.
that we're going to cut off the electricity, we're going to cut off the food, we're going to cut off the water, the fuel, we're going to cut off everything. And this right here, we are fighting That's not what he said. He said we are fighting human animals. I was trying to find the video for that, but he literally said in a press conference, we are fighting human animals and will respond accordingly.
You see that, right? So that's why we come out week in and week out and warn our people of the destruction that's coming, right? The Lord said, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel, right? In Ezekiel 3 and 17, right? Because all the things that's happening, like we just read in Matthew, this is the beginning, right? So everything that's happening over there, eventually that's coming to America, right? And the average American can't even, fathom, that type of event happening, right? I mean, just think about it. You got people that in real life, right, that's in the middle of a war, right? Imagine you in the middle of a war and all you hear is bombs going off, right? All you see is missiles exploding, right? People screaming, right? People begging for their lives, right? You look around and all you see is destruction, and dead bodies, right? You see little children, elderly people destroyed, right? Imagine living through something like that, right? That's the everyday reality of the people over there in that land, right? So that was it on this article.
I believe so. Yeah, then they just start talking about the family members and how everything was happening and how everything is literally going to deteriorate tremendously. Right? It's just going to get worse from here.
Con, right? And what I sent you another article, right?
Yeah, you sent me. You sent me the before and after images of Gaza. Let me pull that up real quick. Right here. This is what it looks like now. Before and after images showing the mosque devastation. Now, mind you, this is
Con,
after airstrikes and stuff from Israel.
that's
Before
crazy.
and after. Before
Hmm.
and after.
Right, and you see that? imagine, imagine waking up and that's the first thing that you see, right? All you see is destruction, right?
There's holes left everywhere.
They all praises,
Right.
right? So let's get back to that Matthew 24 and let's read verse 7 again.
Con, the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 7.
Salaki, hey Ephraim, you got that video I sent you to?
Let me pull that up. You want me to pull it up now, or you want me to wait a little bit?
Con, you can pull that up now
Okay.
while we reading this.
It happened late at night when most people were asleep. There was no warning.
All right, so let's stop right there.
And
So let's finish verse 7.
Con, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 7. And it reads, For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places.
Right, so it's gonna be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, right? And this is why people have to wake up, right? This all the things that was listed in that verse is literally happening on the earth right now, right? Then we had that earthquake in Turkey,
Mm-hmm.
right? That killed how many people,
A
right?
lot of people.
Then we have they had them fires going on out there in Hawaii, right?
Maui.
Right? You got floods going on in different parts of Africa, right? You got major earthquakes, right?
Oh, Salakia. Another earthquake hit Afghanistan. Let me pull that up. Another earthquake. They were just hit with an earthquake like a week ago. So now another earthquake. Did you get this damn thing out of my way? Another earthquake hit them. Here it is. A 6.3 magnitude earthquake hit Afghanistan again yesterday. And about I think it said 2,000 people were taken out. 1,200 dead.
Damn, you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Man. And people think we out here playing games like we just out here just talking, right? Hey,
Hey, Salakia, you know, Brooklyn just flooded. India, I think India had some earthquakes and some natural disasters, and
mm-hmm.
that ain't counting all the trains that's been mysteriously just derailing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, if you're watching and you're keeping that watchful eye, it's happening everywhere around you, all countries.
Right. Hey, so that's why it's important that man, you stay on the straight and narrow path in these last days, man, because hey, Satan out to get you, man. Right. Like, even when you look at them Georgia Guidestones that Esau had out, right, where they tell you about the so-called population control, right? They gonna come out with more diseases, right? They gonna come out with more famines, right? It's gonna be more wars. Hey, this stuff ain't gonna stop, right? So let's go back to that video. Right, this is nonstop every other day.
Mm-hmm.
Right, every other day is something going on, and you got large amounts of people getting destroyed at one time. Right, when have you ever? I mean, you got to ask yourself, like, when have you ever seen upon the face of the earth so many people just taken away in the blink of an eye? 2,000 people, 1,200 people, 10,000 people, 3,000 people. I mean, every other day is something going on, and you got large amounts of people being destroyed, right? And people think we out here playing games,
Mm-hmm.
right? So let's play this video.
Con.
Absolutely horrific in its power. This is the moment a 6.8 magnitude earthquake rocked Morocco. You can see people fleeing into an alley only for debris to then start tumbling down. The quake was centered here, just south of the popular tourist destination of Marrakesh. The death toll already stands at over 2,000 people. And as we get new images in,
And Salakia, it's way more than 2,000 right now.
of the destruction.
And Salaki, hey, and it ain't. Hey, that's why. Matter of fact, let me bring this out real quick, man. Let me bring this out real quick. All right. I'm gonna bring this out real quick in Nehemiah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. This the book of Nehemiah, chapter 1, verse 5. It says, and said, I beseech thee, O Lord God of heaven, the great and terrible God, right? Hey, the Lord has the title as the great and terrible God for a reason, right? I mean, what can you do? What can you do about stuff like that? How can you stop that? Like a major earthquake, right? You get caught up in an earthquake, it ain't nothing you can do about it. Shoot, the only thing that can save you is the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
right? You ain't got no way out, right? And you better start fearing the Lord, right? Whose name is Yahweh or Yahweh Shah, right? You got people out here that say that, hey, they don't fear the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got people out here that don't believe in the Lord, right? Hey, the Lord is the great and terrible God. The Lord is destroying people, right? And they don't got no way out, right? How the hell you go survive an earthquake, right? How the hell you go survive a flood, a major flood, right? You got bombs and missiles popping off, right? That's crazy, man.
Yeah, real crazy.
I got a precept.
Khan, go ahead, bring it out.
Con, and quick, right before I read that, I was gonna say, just like how we talking about the earthquakes and stuff. Yeah, the one that happened in Turkey, that was over 50,000 people that died.
Mm-hmm.
but yet, God don't exist.
Right.
This is my precept, Malachi 1:14. But cursed be the deceiver, which hath in his flock a male, and voweth, and sacrificeth unto the Lord a corrupt thing. For I am a great king, saith the Lord of hosts, and my name is dreadful among the heathen.
Mm-hmm. Break it
See
down,
that?
King.
Con, straight.
Uh-oh.
Hey, you went out.
I think his phone was breaking up.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Con.
Okay, man. My phone been freezing. But yeah, the only people that get that mercy from Yahweh are the children of Israel. If you a heathen, the Lord is nothing but dreadful and terrible to you. And that's what we're seeing amongst these other nations. Death and destruction is happening to them.
Hey,
And
Salakia, can I bring a precept out real quick?
Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 3:23. It says, truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. Truly in Yahweh, our power is the salvation of Israel. And that was just going into what the brother Shalak was bringing out. Like, salvation is for Israel, and the heathen are getting punished for their iniquities right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now you.
Praising. You see that? Right? And that's powerful too. Hey, matter of fact, can you bring that out again? Kazak.
Come. This is Jeremiah 3:23. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains.
So let's stop right there. It says, truly in vain is salvation hoped for. And when they talk about the hills and the mountains, that's going into, the different kingdoms of the other nations, right? So it says, truly in vain is salvation hoped for. Because, hey, that's vanity. Because they have no salvation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come.
Right? These people' future is death, destruction, and captivity, right? So it says, truly in vain is salvation hoped for, right? And everybody say, well, all you have to do is believe on the Lord, right? But what does that mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many of them Palestinians was praying to their God? How many of them Israelis was praying to their gods? And then they end up being destroyed, right? Right? So these other nations, they have no true God, right? The God of the Israelites is destroying them, right? The same way he destroyed Pharaoh and his army, right? The same way he destroyed all the other nations that destroyed his people, right? So let's finish that off in Jeremiah.
God, it says, truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. Truly in Yahweh, our power is the salvation of Israel.
Right, the salvation of Israel, right? And we're gonna get into it a little later, but that's how you know that the people in that land, not the true people of the Bible. It says the salvation of Israel, the God of Israel, right? If the Lord is their God, why is the Lord allowing them to be destroyed? Right? Why is the Lord allowing them to get kidnapped? Right? We got to make it make sense. Right? You got the people in that land that's claiming to be the children of the Lord. Right? That's claiming to be the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right? So let's get back. Did you finish that video, Ethan?
Let me put it back on. Quick question though. Did you? Well, no. We'll go at after this. Like, I'll bring it up after this.
It's clear that number is only going to rise. Now it is a race against time to save those trapped in buildings and try to get to the hardest hit areas that are cut off from the rest of the country. Many, including American tourists, now sleeping outside, fearing more aftershocks. The State Department late today confirming some Americans were injured. We have two reports tonight, beginning with Matt Bradley.
Security footage showing the rumbling, the shaking, and then the screaming as a 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck Morocco. Moroccans are now struggling to reach survivors thought to be buried beneath rubble. It's the most powerful to hit Morocco in more than 100 years.
I mean, come on, man. You cannot tell me that this is not the Lord, right? Like, how would you react if you were just sitting there, at work or, doing something, and then all of a sudden the ground underneath you just starts shaking violently? Like, how would you really react? I couldn't imagine a situation like that.
But hey, that's what's coming to these other nations, man. And even the wicked of our people that don't want to repent, they go meet the great and terrible God, right? Hey. But no, that was all I wanted on that video.
Okay, come.
All right. But we go finish this off in Matthew, and we go get into some more. Unless you had some, Ephraim.
The only thing I had was the Georgia Guidestones. That's all I had. I wanted to show, for all the people that didn't know what the Georgia Guidestones is about. Essentially, it is the plan of, the elites, right? And it's so funny, maybe about a year or two ago, for some crazy reason, somebody somehow blew it up with a bomb, right? Now, mind you, this is a security, like a secured location, right? They have 24-hour security watching this place all the time, right? But these are the Georgia Guidestones, and they're not there no more because of the bomb. But essentially, what it is it's a set of commandments, but it's not commandments from the Lord, right? It's commandments from man. And I'm going to read a couple of the commandments off. It was brought out in June of 1979, and the person that donated them, his name is R.C. Christian. That is hilarious if you think about it. But whoever that person is had these built, right? But when you go into the so-called commandments, it's written in 8 different languages: in English, Spanish, Swahili, Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, Chinese, and Russian. And some of the commandments are to maintain humanity under 500 million. We have about 8 billion people in the world right now, and they want to keep humanity under 500 million. How that's going to happen? I guess we're seeing that right now. Rule with passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. Okay. Balance personal rights with social duties, whatever that means. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Yet when you go through the world, the only person that's actually being a cancer in this earth and not leaving room for nature is Esau, right? How many forests has this devil destroyed? How many neighborhoods has he destroyed? How many animal sanctuaries has he abolished? Right? How many people has he put through intense subjugation? Right? He puts everybody through subjugation. Everybody. And we're not even talking about slavery times. Right? But yet we're crazy when we're out there telling the devil to his face that he is the devil. He just doesn't know it. Right? Salaki, go ahead, King. Go back to that. You said Matthew 24.
No, you good. Um, yeah. Let's finish that Matthew 24. I think Shapar had it. Verse 8.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 8. And it reads, all these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted.
So lucky. So let's stop right there. So all this is the beginning of sorrows, right? Like the brother was going into, right? Right. So you got great destruction happening upon the earth, right? So let's jump down to verse 21 in that Matthew 24.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time.
So let's
No,
stop right there. So it says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world, right? Because like I said, every other day, every other week, something is going on. Right? You got, these so-called natural disasters, right? You got all these different diseases and plagues, and right, you got stores shutting down where you can't get food and water, right? You got all these different wars going on around the earth, right? You got a mass number of people getting put to death left and right, right? So you never really seen nothing like this on the earth like that, right? Like I even in what's that second Edges, I think what's that chapter 5, I think. Let me see.
You said second Ezra 5.
Y'all, I'm gonna read it real quick. Second Edges 5:1. It says, nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, and the tokens is talking about the different signs that the Lord is showing us, right? It says, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number, right? So we bring these things out all the time, right? Those that dwell upon the earth is being taken in a great number, right? You got 40, 50,000 people getting put to death in an earthquake, right? You got tens, 20s, 30s people getting put to death in mass shootings, right? You got people getting put to death in wildfires, right? You got wars happening. You got bombs, grenades, and missiles going off, right? 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 people getting put to death in earthquakes and floods, right? Hurricanes, right? So you send those upon the earth being taken in a great number, right? So let's go back to Matthew 24.
And Salaki, just to add on to your just to land me back off of you. So not on just because a person is not getting put to death or put to flight doesn't mean that they're going through like we have people out here in the States that are starving, right? We got people in the States, our people, who don't know where their next meal is coming from, right? Before the whole pandemic, they were able to put food on the table. But now, since the Lord is starting to visit this place more and more, now all of a sudden these same people don't have food for their tables, right? Some people can't even feed their families, right? Some people are
Right.
living worse than paycheck to paycheck.
Con.
That sounds
Right.
like destruction to me.
Con, that's right. 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 All around the earth. Right. So let's finish that Matthew 24:21.
come. Matthew chapter 24, verse 21. For shall then for for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
right? And we thankful to even, see the times that we in now, right? To see all the destruction that the Lord is bringing upon our enemies, right? Right. And Lord willing, we get to make it through this, right? To see that great day where Babylon the Great is destroyed, right? And we, Lord willing, we get to be delivered from this captivity, right? So look, Kazak, can you give me second Edges 9:1?
God, okay.
And Shalak, can you give me second Edges 15:5?
On 15:5.
Let me get there real quick. Hey, Ephraim, you had any more news about that war?
Oh, I'm sure. I got plenty of other videos. I just got to put them all together, and get them ready and line them up. I should be able to have it ready by the time you're done reading these scriptures.
All right, so let's get that second Edges 9:1.
It's the book of Second Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Right, so in these last days, the Lord said we got to measure the time diligently, right? And like I said, we bring these scriptures out all the time. Second Edges 9, right? Second Edges 15, 13, 16, right? Matthew 24, right? And like I said, we gonna keep bringing it out because all these things line up to what's going on the earth right now, right? So that's how we measure the time that we living in, by these prophecies, by the things that the Lord said was gonna happen on the earth and the times we living in, right? So let's read on.
Verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world.
So let's stop right there. We just showed y'all, right? Earthquakes, right? All over the place, right? What was that earthquake you just pulled up, Ephraim?
Oh, that was in Afghanistan.
Right, in Afghanistan, right? You got earthquakes. And these ain't no regular earthquake. These massive earthquakes, right? You got some of these earthquakes breaking world records. Like they coming out saying like they haven't even recorded an earthquake that's been going on, these earthquakes, right?
They talking about the biggest and the most, the largest in 100, 200 years.
Right. So I mean, this is not a coincidence, right? These things happening for a reason. The Lord is trying to show us something, right? But hey, it's up to his people to hearken, right? Hey, some people not go hearken until these things gotta happen, right? That's why we read in Matthew 24, the Lord said these things must come to pass, right? It's sad to say, but some of these things gotta happen for our people to wake up, right? Everybody not the same. See, we was blessed that the Lord revealed these things unto us, you know, at a before, right? But some of our people, it might take it might take a lot for them to wake up, right? Some of our people got to see more destruction. They got to see more wars, right? Sometimes it got to hit home for our people to really wake up and realize what's going on, right? So let's finish that off in verse 3. Well,
Con,
Shalak, let's read verse 3 again.
con. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest,
Right, so
even
let's
so.
stop right there. So it says, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end. Right. So like we just brought out, earlier, going into, the different prophecies about, you know, this is, being the end of the world for Esau, right? Going into the Daniel chapter 2 and chapter 7, right? Going into Daniel's vision, right? Showing you that this is gonna be the last ruler kingdom before the kingdom of the saints, right? So every kingdom had a beginning and an ending. When you read the scriptures, it's only one kingdom on the earth that's not gonna have an ending, right? The kingdom of the saints, right? Because it said when the saints come back in the power, right, we go rule forever and ever, right? When we look at all the other kingdoms, right, Egypt had a beginning and an ending, right? Assyria, right? The Persians and the Medes, right? The Babylonians, the Greeks, the Romans, and now it's time for this kingdom, right? This kingdom had a beginning, right? This kingdom was built off the backs of the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? And now we come into the times where the Lord is going to redeem His people, right? So that was it on that. So let's get to Second Edges 15:5.
Khan, I'm ready when you are out.
Khan and Shapar, can you give me Joel 3 and 9?
King.
All right, let's get that Second Edges 15 and verse 5.
Khan, this is the book of 2nd Ezra 15 and 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth.
So let's stop right there. So it says wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, right? So even when you look at what's going on in that land, what they call Israel now, right? Hey, I ain't gonna lie, them Israelis, man, they be having that. They got one of the biggest pride parades in that land, right? But that's supposed to be the holy land, right? These the people that claim to be the chosen people, right? But they got the biggest pride parade in the world in that land, and you wonder why the Lord is destroying it, right? So it says that wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, right? So let's read on.
And their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness.
Right? So the Lord said He ain't gonna hold His tongue no more, right? And the Lord said He been letting this slide for too long. Right now it's time to take action, right? These people been getting away with this for too long, right? Stealing our identity, right? Stealing our language, stealing our land, right? Now they proclaiming to be the chosen people, right? So the Lord said He not gonna hold His tongue no more. So in these last days, it's gonna be revealed unto the world who are the true children of the Lord, right? And the wicked is gonna get exposed, right? So let's read on.
Which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things. in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually.
Right? So that's talking about the blood of our forefathers, right? Right? Like I said, the Lord, you really think the Lord was gonna let these devils get away, right? With proclaiming to be his chosen, right?
Ah,
Right? And the Lord not gonna let that slide, right? That Esau put on our people, right? Murdering millions of our people, stealing our land, right? The Lord has to bring judgment upon his enemies for what they did to his chosen people, right? So let's read down to verse 9.
Verse 9. And therefore, saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them, and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them.
Right? So we believe in justice, right? The Lord said he go avenge us. So like I said, that's why we not crying about what's going on in the land of Israel, right? We rejoicing, right? So we say all praises to the Most High, right? See, a lot of our people they don't know what's going on. They talking about pray for Israel. Well, our people always want to pray for everybody else but each other, right? Every time something going on with these other nations, oh, we gotta pray for them. Oh, let's pray for Palestine, right? They was saying that a couple years ago. They was like, pray for Palestine, pray for Palestine. And you had the Palestinians that had a protest out here in Raleigh downtown, and you had Jakes walking with them in the crowd, talking about pray for Palestine, right?
make it
What the
make
hell
sense.
You said, huh?
I said, make it make sense.
Right, shit. It don't make sense, right? But hey, that's our people, man, right? We always want to side with the enemies, right? So you had the Palestinians out here, right, marching. You had, our people in there. Yeah, pray for Palestine. Pray for Palestine, right? Right. We always want to support these other nations, right? Right. But the true servants of the Lord, and we want vengeance, right? And we want the Lord to destroy all those heathen nations, right, that took over our land, that's fighting over our land, right? So that was it on that. Let me get verse 15 in that second Edges 15.
Con, 2 Ezra 15, and verse 15. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands.
So let's stop right there. And you see that going around the whole earth. One people standing up to fight against another, right? Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, right? Right? Russia, Ukraine, right? You got the Israelis and the Palestinians, right? You got all these different heathen nations gearing up and battling against each other, right? And we go get into that in the book of Joel after we finish this off, right?
God, and
So read
Slovakia
on.
is getting worse too. And the thing is about that is that right now is, just Russia and Ukraine, and then there's Israel and Palestine. But now what about the countries that are bound to help protect those countries? Right?
Hmm.
Russia is backing Palestine, and guess who else is backing Palestine? Another superpower called Iran, another one called Syria. They're all backing Palestine. And they
Right? You
already
see
said
that?
that if the US involves themselves, they're going to be quick to jump in there.
Hey, Lebanon too. Slovakia, I believe I read Lebanon fighting them too.
Con.
Right. So, matter of fact, let me bring this out real quick. So that's powerful what the brother bringing out, because what is that showing you? That's just showing you that World War III is on the rise. It's already here, and there's nothing that anybody can do to stop it. Right. All right, so let me bring this out real quick in Revelation, right? This the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 14. It says, the second woe is past, right? So when you go into that, matter of fact, are you right there, Ephraim? Can you pull up that word woe? Go into
Con.
that word woe, right?
Strong's G 3759. Uai. Uai.
That looked like to me, ooh, like something crazy getting ready to happen. And it's grief, woe, right? It also, if you go into it, it's talking about destruction.
Right. You see that? So it says, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly, right? So that third great destruction is coming quickly, right? And we seeing it with our own eyes, right? You had World War One, World War Two, and now you got World War Three on the rise, right? So that's just like, what the brother Ephraim was going into, right? All these different nations teaming up and really going against America, right? Right? You see, man, you see all them threats that Putin be sending to America. Hey, Putin ain't playing no games, man. Hey, Putin, like, he one of them people. He like, man, I wish you would.
Hey, Putin be
Like,
talking crap to their faces.
hey,
He be like,
hey,
there's nothing but homos over there.
right, and that's the truth, man. Right? Hey, America ain't ready to go to war, man.
Mm-mm.
If America did a drop today, man, they gonna be finished, man.
Finished.
And who the hell they go send to war? You got a whole country full of effeminate men and masculine women, right? Everything is ass backwards in America, right? This whole land is confused. Ain't nobody ready to go to war, right? Who go defend their country, right? Who go defend their nation, right?
Not
Yeah,
these fairies.
America, right? America is becoming or has become the laughing stock of the earth, man. Right? Right. So let's where was we at in the second Edges 15?
Khan, I was on verse 15. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, let's read down to 18.
Khan, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They
So let's
shall not.
stop right there, right? So invading one another, that's what we see, right? What did Russia do to Ukraine? Right? Right? The Palestinians and the Israelis, right? Right? You got different nations invading one another, right?
China and Taiwan.
Right? You see that stepping, over into other nations' territories, right? Right. So let's read on.
They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their acts shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
Right. You see that? As a matter of fact, hey Ephraim, can you pull up that picture again? That picture with Palestine.
Con. Let me grab it. I actually just went off of it. There it is. Yeah, I'm gonna pull something else out. It's gonna be real nice. Let's see. Oh no, this isn't it. It's actually this one, I think. Wait, where'd it go? Salaki, my bad. Here it is. The before and after images.
Right. You see that? So what is this showing you? This showing you that this Bible is a true prophetic book, right? But we just read 2nd Ezra 15 and 18. For because of their pride, and really, hey, both of these nations is prideful, right? Like I said, they fighting over a land that don't belong to neither one of them, right? Trying to have control and power over a land that don't belong to you, right? It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed. And what we've been looking at the whole time, right? Looking at all these different videos and pictures, right? You see all these places destroyed, right? What that one guy said on that video? He said that was working at that one spot.
He said, I can't get jiggy to this shit.
Right? And he said, and he was like, man, I ain't do nothing to nobody, man. Right? What did I do to deserve this? Right? And the Lord judged nations of people, right? And you got to pay for all the wickedness that your people did, man. Right? He said, well, I don't deserve this, man. Right? You got all this destruction, right? People complaining, right? But hey, that's what happened, right? Right? So that's what's gonna happen in these last days, right? It says houses shall be destroyed. All you see is death and destruction, right? And it says, and men shall be afraid, right? So you got people taking other people hostages, right? You see in that article we brought out earlier, people out here without food and water, without shelter, right? Hey, it's getting bad out here, right? But really, this is a wake up call for our people. Hey, you better repent, right? All right, so that's why we got to bring these things out, right? Right. So hopefully our people paying attention to what's going on. All right. So let's bring this out in Joel 3 and 9. Who had Joel 3 and 9?
I could grab it for you real quick.
Con, I got it.
Con,
Hey, Salaki, I got exactly who is going to be fighting us. I could show you right now if you want.
what's that?
Let me show you. Let me pull it up. Dang, where'd it go? Oh, this thing.
And I'm gonna get a few more Ephraim, and I guess if you got something else, we can bring it out.
Let me show you exactly who's going to be fighting the war for them. Oh, this is gonna be who's fighting their war for them.
Oh man.
Ma'am. It is ma'am. You need to settle down and mind your business, okay? Ma'am, once again.
Damn.
No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
All right, my bad.
Nah, that's madness, man.
Yeah,
But that's what America promote, though, right? That's the people that's gonna be battling for you for this American country, right? Hey, that's sad, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this place this place finished, man. This place is finished, man. That's who you got. That's who you got protecting America, fighting for America. Right?
Finished. Finish him.
Like I said, man, if America do a draft, man, that's gonna be it. Man, ain't nobody prepared to go to war. Right, you got a whole bunch of you got a nation full of I ain't even gonna say it, man. You got a nation full of the LGBTQ community, right? I ain't gonna say what I wanted to say. They might they might flag the channel. But all right, but let's get this Joel 3:9.
This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9.
Hey Salakia, and hey Kazak, can I get Ecclesiastes 3:1?
God, King.
Con. So let's bring this out, Joel 3:9.
This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. And it reads, Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men.
So let's stop right there, right? Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, right? Prepare war, right? Because hey, the Lord said he is a man of war, right? And the Lord is preparing war among all the Gentile nations, right? Like we've been bringing out, you got Russia, Ukraine, right? Iraq, right? Israel, Palestine, China, right? North Korea. You got all these different nations preparing for war, right? So let's read on.
It says, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears.
So let's stop right there. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. And after we read this, we go into that scripture in Isaiah chapter 2, which is basically it's like the opposite of this of what's going on in Joel,
I was
right?
gonna bring that up later, but you bring it up.
So
Salakia.
go ahead.
I was gonna say I got that also. I got that also in Micah 4.
Right. So basically, right. So that now we going into really showing you how we know that the people that's in that land is not the true people of the book, right? These not the true Israelites of the Bible, right? And we gonna go into that and show you, right? So it says, verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. So like the Lord said, he getting that all these other nations prepared to go to war, right? But when we read Isaiah chapter 2, we gonna go into the flip side of that, right? So let's keep reading.
And your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong.
And like Ephraim brought out earlier, right? Where did Palestine get all this firepower from, right? And they gotta have some. And we was talking about this the other day. And they gotta have some type of game plan, right? That we don't know about, right? To go up against Israel, because Israel got one of the. Hey, they got one of the top militaries, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So how is a Palestine go up against Israel, right?
And the crazy thing about it, Salakia, is they say also the same thing with the Georgia Guidestones, right? How there's 24-hour security. Well, it's even worse in Israel, especially around the borders, because they know that Palestine's right there. There's 24/7, 24/8 security there, right?
Right.
And they don't even let them go off on holidays, so you can't even blame Feast of Tabernacles, right? You can't blame it because that's what occurred at the time was Feast of Tabernacles. They
Right.
don't let them off, and this was directly from an Israeli soldier that used to be over there.
See that?
They let him in.
Right. you see that, right? So like we said, like how did Palestine get all this firepower, right? What made them think that they could go toe to toe with Israel, right? Like the Lord said, let the weak say, I am strong, right? So you got these other nations, right, that's not really known for, having strong militaries, going up against these other nations that, that's actually known for having strong militaries, right? You got different nations and countries teaming up with each other, to go against different enemies, right? So let's read on.
Verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen. Gather
Right, you
yourselves.
see that? So that's how you know who the Lord is talking about. He says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, right? Read on.
Come and gather yourself together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about.
And that's what you're seeing happening right now. The Lord is judging all the heathen round about, right? The Lord is bringing destruction upon our enemies, right? Read on.
Verse 13. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision.
Right,
For
so that multitudes is talking about all the different armies of the heathen nations, right? Read on.
multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel.
Right, so you see that? So that's how you know the Lord is not, dwelling amongst them Israelis that claim to be the true people of the Bible, right? Because the Lord said when all this is going on with these wars, it says, but the Lord will be the hope of his people, right? So how is the Lord the hope of the Israelis when they the ones that's being destroyed, right? It says, in the strength of the children of Israel, right? So how is he the strength of these the people that's in that land when he's allowing them to be destroyed, right? So that's just showing you, right, that these people are not the true descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? Right. So who had that Ecclesiastes 3:1? And
Yeah, I got it.
Shalak, you said you had that Isaiah chapter 2.
I had something similar to it. That was in Micah 4. Do you want me to
Can you
grab out?
give can you get Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 1? And then after we finish Isaiah, we could go back to that.
Okay, Con.
All right, let me get there real quick to Ecclesiastes. All right, let's read verse 1 and then we go jump to verse 8.
Okay, Con. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven.
Right, to everything there's a season, right? So we finna see what season that we in right now, right? So let's jump to verse 8.
Verse 8, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war,
Hold on, a time of what?
a time of war,
What we in right now?
a time of war.
A time of war. So that's the time we living in right now, right? We just read that in Joel chapter 3. What you saying right now is a time of war, right? We read that in Matthew 24, right? You go hear wars and rumors of wars, right? So right now, and inside a lot of our people don't see it and don't understand it, but right now we in a time of war, right? Like Ephraim said, it's only gonna get worse and worse, right? So let's read on.
Con, a time of war and a time of peace.
In a time of peace, right? And we go into that Isaiah chapter 2, and we go see when it's gonna be a time of peace. Cause right now we in a time of war, right? Remember the Lord said the nations they was gonna turn their pruning hooks, right, into swords, right, and they was gonna get prepared for war, right? So let's read this and let me get there real quick. Isaiah chapter 2. All right, let's get Isaiah chapter 2 and let's read down to verse 5.
All right, Khan. Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 1. The word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that
So
the
like let's
mount.
stop right there. So we've been talking about this whole time we've been talking about the events that was gonna take place in the last days, right? Right? Remember we went into the earthquakes, the famines, the pestilence, right? The wars, right? All the death and destruction, right? So let's read on.
That the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall
Right,
be
so let's
exalted.
stop right there. So the mountain of the Lord's house is talking about the kingdom or the government of Israel being established above all the other kingdoms and nations on the earth, right? And it's gonna show you that.
You want me to keep going?
Con.
And shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares,
So let's
and this.
stop right there. So remember in Joel chapter 3, we read the opposite, right? We read about the things that was happening right now. It said that they was gonna turn their plowshares into swords. But now we're saying that they go turn their swords into plowshares. That means all the war go be put to an end, right? After World War III and the second coming of Yahushua, right? When Yahushua and his army destroy all these other nations and deliver the children of Israel, right? And like we just read in verse 2, when the Lord going to establish the government of Israel above all the other nations, right? So at that time, it ain't gonna be no more need for war, right? Because we gonna be established above all the other nations, right? Matter of fact, let me get this real quick in Daniel 7 and 18. All right. So this is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 18. It says, But the saints right? And we know the saints is talking about the Israelites, right? But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever, right? So when we come back into power, when the true Israelites come back into power, it's not gonna be no more need for war, right? Because ain't no other nation gonna have the power to stand up against us, right? So we gonna be the top ruling kingdom forever and ever, right? So unlike all the kingdoms of the other nations, remember that we read in second ledgers, they had a beginning and they had an ending, right? But our kingdom, once our kingdom begin, right, we not gonna have an ending. We gonna rule forever and ever, right? So let's finish that off in Isaiah chapter 2.
And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more.
So that's powerful. It says, nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. So that's how you know that the people that claim, that land now and that claim to be the real Israelites and the real Jews, that can't be true according to prophecy. Because if those people were the real Jews and Israelites, then we would be at peace right now, right? But are we at peace? Is the world at peace? Or
Well,
is the Most High bringing great destruction upon the earth?
hey, when the wicked are in rulership, the people mourn.
Right? That's right. Right. So like the brother said, right, that goes to show you that these people that claim to be the true people of the Bible, these people are imposters, right? Right? Because the Lord said that when Israel come back into power, nation not go raise up sword against another nation. But what we see going on right now in the land of Israel, right? What we see going on right now in Ukraine, right? Don't you got nations destroying other nations, right?
War.
Right? That's all you see is war, right? You see bombs and missiles and tanks, right? Grenades, right? You got little kids and females getting kidnapped, people getting taken hostage, right? Dead bodies all in the street, right? So let's read verse 5.
Con, verse 5. Salaki. O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk in the light of the Lord. Therefore,
So that was it on that. So we can go to that Micah
Con.
if you want to go into that. And Ephraim, you had anything else you wanted to bring out?
Con, I just got a few more things, and then we could wrap it up after that. I don't really have that much.
Con, praises. So yeah, let's bring this out in Micah, and then you can go into that, and then we can close it out.
Con, real quick, right before I get into that precept, if I could just say something real quick.
Con.
Yeah, so I just want to say this to the Northern Kingdom. So, para todos ustedes que no están escuchando, right? Ustedes están viendo lo que está pasando en este mundo. Yo no sé cómo es que ustedes no tienen el entendimiento y vienen a pelear con nosotros, a decir que nosotros estamos diciendo las cosas malas, cuando estamos aquí leyendo lo que dice la Biblia. I'll translate. So for the people that come out here with this contentious spirit, I'm saying that they see what's going on in this world. How is it that y'all can come to us and just say what we're talking about is wrong and that our message is wrong when we're reading what's coming straight out the scripts?
Con.
You feel me? But let me get into that Micah 4. So Micah 4 is essentially reiterating there. I'll start at verse 2. And many nations shall come and say, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And he shall judge among many people, and rebuke strong nations afar off. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. You want me to go in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Khan. So just like I was saying, it's reiterating Isaiah 2, and in Isaiah 2 and 5, when it's talking about we will walk, we got to be the light of our Lord. Micah 4 and 5 is telling you essentially the same thing. It says, verse 5, for all people walk every one in the name of his God. So in those days, those people are going to be doing what? They'll be following their customs. And what we be doing, it says, and we will walk in the name of the Lord our God. So it's essentially just touching back on that Isaiah 2. And that's it on
Right.
that.
Right. So like we've been bringing out, right, that goes to show you that the people that's in that land is not the true Israelites, right? They're not the true Jews, right? Right. How's the Lord allowing these people to be destroyed, right? Right. That goes to show you that the Lord is not with them, right? Because when the Israelites come back into power, it ain't gonna be no more war, right? It ain't gonna be no more nation rising up against nation, right? Right. So Ephraim, what you had?
Oh, let's see. Let's go to we'll go to editions of Esther, right? Chapter 11, and we'll start at verse 4, and we'll read down from there. And this also just it just shows who this just shows who are the players, right? So editions of Esther, chapter 11 and 4. It says, he was also one of the captives which Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, carried from Jerusalem with Jeconiah, king of Judea. And this was his dream. Behold, a noise of a tumult with thunder and earthquakes and uproar in the land. That's exactly what's happening. And behold, two great dragons came forth ready to fight, and their cry was great. And who do we have fighting? Right? It's Esau versus Esau, right? And at their cry, all nations were prepared to battle, that they might fight against the righteous people. And lo, a day of darkness and obscurity, tribulation and anguish, affliction and great uproar upon the earth. And the whole righteous nation was troubled, fearing their own evils, and were ready to perish. So I'm going to stop it right there. But this is essentially talking about everything that's occurring as we speak, right? And like I said in the beginning, everything is going to be magnified tremendously, right? It's just going to get worse from here. It's not getting any better, right? Everybody was so, when the when the vid came out, in 2020, right? Everybody thought it was just going to be, around for a little while, and then it was just going to go away. But no, it wasn't, right? They were promoting what they called the new normal, right? And this right here is the new normal, right? Tribulation, poverty, war, destruction. And why is it the new normal? Because the Lord is beginning to visit the earth, right? It's almost time for Esau to pick up his bag, right? Put a Ziploc on it and get out of town pretty soon, right? That Obadiah 18, that Obadiah, the entire book of Obadiah is getting ready to come to pass, right? Esau is going to be burnt up to a shrivel, and then he's going to be, no more. Right. But I also had a few things also. So there are the protests also that are happening in the world are insane. Right. I don't know if anybody's been watching any of the protests, but whew, they've been crazy.
Terrorist attack on Israel and the escalating war it sparked.
And what's happening is that people here in the country, in the States, right? In New York, in Florida, in California, in all the major cities, in Chicago, they are all, and notice it always happens in the major cities first, and then it spreads out. It's like a virus, right? It starts in the major spots and then spreads to the smaller spots. But people are literally fighting one to another.
Have led to heartbreak, anger, and tension in the United States. Many Americans are on edge as rhetoric gets heated and misinformation spreads. Stephanie Gosk reports.
At times this week, the hostility between pro-Israeli and pro-Palestinian groups has spilled out on the streets. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has always fueled intense debate. But after Hamas's indiscriminate killing of so many innocent people, the tension in the U.S. feels heightened. College campuses are a flashpoint. In the
Hey,
hours of
Salaki, hey, let's stop right there real
Harvard
quick.
released a letter.
And that's how America use they devices to deceive our people or deceive all people, right? You see that? Talking about they killed many innocent people. Those people not innocent.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The statistics show that the Israelis killed more Palestinians than the than the Palestinians killed their people.
Gone.
Right?
If you
You
look
see
at
that?
the map, if you've seen the map, I'm sure you've seen it. Before 1948, before they were installed in that place, that entire area was all Palestine. The Palestinians had that entire area. And
Right.
over time, it kept shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And then they decided to stick them in a little corner and expect them to be happy, right? Mind you, these two are fighting over land that don't belong to neither one of their sorry asses. Excuse my
Right.
French.
And that's why these people are not innocent. None of them.
Mm-hmm. None of them
Right.
are innocent.
But you see how Esau do it, right? To make you feel bad for these people, right?
Mm-hmm.
How they use their wordplay on this media, right? Talking about innocent people. These people not innocent, right?
Not in the least.
Right? How many people had the so-called Israelis killed, right? Right, but they're not gonna talk about that part.
Nope.
Saying they hold the Israeli regime entirely responsible for all unfolding violence. Former Harvard President Larry Summers called their message morally unconscionable.
The university, like many other universities,
Okay. We're gonna skip ahead a little bit. I don't feel like listening to these two idiots, but we're gonna see the real stuff that's going on.
Critical of the Israeli government.
Of course.
A position we heard at a rally.
I wanted to come here and give support and a voice to the people without a voice.
Columbia grad student Noor Suleiman is Palestinian.
I do not support Hamas at all, right? I support the Palestinian right to resist. I don't support the slaughtering of innocent people on either side.
At Rutgers, these Jewish students are concerned anti-Israeli sentiment could.
And look, and that's another thing is that here's the crazy part about all of this is that they always say they're either Jewish, right, or they'll call them Israeli, right? But they never say that they're the Israelites. Never. And also, when we talk to them on the street or when we have, little sit-down sessions with them, they never know what's happening with the Northern Kingdom, right? And then they never know what tribe they're from. How does this even make sense?
Fuel anti-Semitism.
And I've been hearing the tone of it's less. playing out overnight at the University of Florida, where there was a vigil, people honoring the lives lost in Hamas's attacks on Israel. It started out as a somber and emotional evening when chaos and panic began to ensue. According to university police, when someone had fainted and people were calling 911, that was a misunderstanding, according to police, sending the crowd running, fleeing. You can see the stampede, the chaotic moments playing out. There were roughly 20 people injured in the stampede, according to an area hospital, all minor injuries. Police underscoring that the incident was an accident, but it does speak to just how many Jewish Americans are on edge in light of the violence. In fact, just yesterday, I was interviewing someone who was wearing a yarmulke. He was actually addressing the ripple effects when a
Oh God, I don't want to look at his ugly ass. Sorry.
rally. One person was arrested and several others were pepper sprayed after a confrontation between pro-Israeli and pro-Palestinian groups here in Fort Lauderdale. NBC6's Lorena Inclán was there and shows us how things escalated.
Look at that. It's our own people, yo.
Coons.
Our own people, right? That want to support something they have no clue about. It's always our people.
A Defend Israel rally drew dozens of supporters who lined East Sunrise Boulevard near Federal Highway Sunday, chanting, "The nation of Israel lives on." They stood in solidarity for the Jewish community and Israel.
If you have any love for democracy, if you love freedom, if you love the ability to do whatever you want on a day-to-day basis, doesn't matter if you're Jewish or Israeli, if you're just any that type of person, you got to come here and support this cause.
But just feet away, another rally in support of Palestine also got underway. Things got heated as the two groups confronted each other.
We came out with our flag, with our banner that you see behind here for Palestine.
Look at it. It looks like it's a car. Are you kidding me?
It's a lot, kid. But I was gonna say, look, man, the Northern Kingdom is so damn wicked and evil. Look, the reason why these so-called Hispanic Latinos are out here praying or trying to support damn Ishmael or Esau is because, especially with Esau and Israel, when you go to these Spanish churches, and I've been in them, a lot of things that the pastors be saying, the preachers, pray for Israel with the white supremacy indoctrination. Pray for Israel, pray for Israel. So then you got these dummies, these so-called Latinos that are dimwits. They don't know nothing, and they Israel, Israel, Israel. But then you ask them, has Israel ever done anything for you? And they can't answer it. Straight madness out here.
Yeah, it really doesn't make sense, not one bit. These people
be a
are
heightened police presence
fighting.
here, at least for the foreseeable future.
Fighting.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. You are Palestinian Nazis!
Pro-Palestinian and pro-Israeli protesters clashed during heated demonstrations in Times Square. The Democratic Socialists of America held a rally yesterday afternoon, starting at the crossroads of the world, continuing across 42nd Street to Bryant Park. The organization called on New Yorkers to support its cause on the social media platform X, writing, "In solidarity with the Palestinian people and their right to resist 75 years of occupation and apartheid." Governor Hochul and Mayor Adams condemned the invasion.
One has the right to protest, even if I strongly disagree with any form of celebrating such a horrific incident like this, but we'll do it in a
PD says it's aware of the situation and noted that there is no known threat to New York City.
And look, and it's not only the news stations, it's not only it's the movie star, it's the celebrities, right? You got Floyd Mayweather, right? Using his money to fly out supplies to Israel. When will the madness stop?
Wow.
I have a
I
question.
didn't know that, King.
Yeah.
How does he know which side is which? The brother can't even read.
Exactly. but he has been using his private jet. Let me pull it up so that you can see it, because you got to prove all things. But look, just from pulling this up, I stand with Israel, sends aid on private jet. You can't the level of coonery that is occurring right here is unheard of, right? Announces his support and he's sending aid on his private jet. I stand with Israel and Jews. Wasn't he one of the celebrities that was talking about that he's a Hebrew? Am I going crazy? Did I miss that part?
That's madness.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, it was. I think it was. He was. I forgot who he was hanging out with. But I think it was him first, and then Ye, Kanye a little while later. But it just like, when is it gonna stop? Right? It's literally gonna take an act of God, to make this BS stop.
Yeah, that's crazy too. Cause when you think about it, I think Mayweather. I think he from Grand Rapids in Michigan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you got all them, poor so-called black people that live in your hometown, and you don't even send them aid, but you send the aid to a whole different country.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
bring that out.
They don't got nothing to do with you.
Con.
Nothing.
Right? It's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, it just, of course, all the celebrities, who else can I think of? It just,
All your social media influencers too.
all of them.
Hey, Salakia. Hey, can I bring out a few things right quick?
Con.
Hey, Ephraim, can you pull up Israel on Wikipedia right quick?
Absolutely.
Con, I just want to go over a few things for y'all, brothers. Shut it down.
Israel.
Because I'm just going to land me back. I'm basically going to land me back on what you brothers said. We're talking about, the people that's occupying that land. Who are they really? Who are the Palestinians? You know what I mean? Where did they get that name from? And just going into a few things right quick, because that's a lot of stuff we were just talking about. Scroll down to where it talks about the Neo-Babylonian and the Neo-Assyrian empires.
So we got here.
Yeah, history. Go down to where it talks about the classic age.
Classic age.
Hold on. Go
Classic
back.
antiquity.
Go back up a little bit, Ephraim.
Oh, right here, Babylonia. Kingdom of Israel.
Go up a little bit more. Let me see. I want to go into the empires that was ruling. All the empires that. Go up a little bit more. Go. Salakia.
No, you go, King. No rush.
I just had it pulled up on my phone. Go down a little bit.
You were talking about Neo-Babylonian. That's right over here.
Right,
I don't know if that's what you're talking about.
Go down.
Classic antiquity, late antiquity, and medieval period. Modern period. No, we don't want that.
Salakia. I was just looking at it. Where it says Israel is located in the southern Levant. It's right under. Go up.
Oh, I think I saw it up here somewhere. Where'd it go? Right here. Located in prehistoric Levant.
No, I think we're on different pages. What are you on? Go up to the top.
Israel.
Yeah, you're on Israel. All right, go down. All right, that's it right there. That's it right there. Okay, so I wanted to start right there where it says, okay, it says, so I'm gonna fast forward to talking about the captivities, right? And it says basically, I just want to go into the captivities of Israel, right? So we know that we dealt with Egypt, right? So it says before falling to the Neo-Assyrian and the Neo-Babylonian empires, right? Then we fast forward and it talks about the region was ruled by the, and I'm paraphrasing, but the Persian Empire. You got the Macedonian Empire, right? You
Mm-hmm.
got the Ptolemaic and the Seleucid Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all empires that are where Israel was ruled over. Basically, captivities and slaveries that we went through, right? You had the Persians, you had the Assyrians, the Babylonians, you had the Persians, the Greeks, more Greeks, and you had
And the Romans.
and the Romans, Khan. So then when you go down, right, it says that we know that we went through the time of the Hasmonean kingdom, which is the Maccabees, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then we went through the Roman captivity. Then you had, it says in the 7th century, you had the Muslim conquest of the Levant, right? Then the 11th century, you had the Crusades. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm basically just reaccounting all the captivities and all the heathens that tried to take over that land. It says it has the Crusades fully restored in the 1300 by the Mamluks, which were, I believe, those were an empire that ruled in Egypt, right? I want to say they were Ottomans or Arabs that ruled in Egypt when they were spreading Islam.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the Ottoman Turks, right? Then it says, then it goes into after World War One and World War Two, the Jewish, the so-called the white man that calls himself a Jew, right? The Jewish people started to enter that land after the British mandate. So you got several different heathen kingdoms that basically been passing Israel around ever since the Assyrian captivity, right? That was like 7 or 8 different kingdoms just
Mm-hmm.
passing it around. Can you pull up that book that I shared with you in the group chat?
Khan.
Can you pull up the cover of that book? Because this is going into the people that are living in that land today, the so-called Jewish people, right? This is a good book right here. I advise all the brothers and sisters, especially brothers and sisters kind of new into the truth, check this book out. This book was actually wrote by a Jewish man, and it's
Mm-hmm.
called The 13th Tribe. And it goes into the lineage and the heritage of the people that live in Israel today, right? And it proves, and it goes into history that these people are uh, Edomites that descend out of the Caucasus Mountains. Can you pull up that one highlighted pictures that I sent you? Not the dim one. I think the first one was the dim one, but can you go into the next one after that?
Yeah, Khan. The lit up one.
Mm-hmm. I think
Khan.
it's the second one that I sent you with the words. Khan, can you read that for us, Ethan?
Absolutely. It says, it is perhaps not surprising, given these circumstances, Salakia, that in 732, after a resounding Khazar victory over the Arabs, the future Emperor Constantine V married a Khazar princess. In due time, their son became the Emperor Leo the Fourth, known as Leo the Khazar.
So this is basically going into the 700 ADs. This is going into an empire that lived in the Caucasus Mountains, and I'm paraphrasing, but this is during the time of the Crusades. So the so-called Christian Crusades, the Ishmaelites or the Islamic Crusades, they were basically going around the world having people convert. Everybody was forcing people to convert from their paganism into one of the religions that are practiced today, right? Either Christianity or Islam. Keep reading, King.
Khan. It says, ironically, the last battle in the war, 737 AD, ended in a Khazar defeat. But by that time, the impetus of the Muslim Holy War was spent. The caliphate was rocked by internal dissensions, and the Arab invaders retraced their steps across the Caucasus without having gained a permanent foothold in the north. Whereas the Khazars became more powerful than they had previously been.
So it's going into the Arabs going into the Caucasus trying to rule that land, right? But they were unsuccessful. Go on to the next page.
Gone. It says a few years later, probably 740 AD, the king, his court, and the military ruling class embraced the Jewish faith.
Now this is where you get into the converts, right? These people were pagans. They lived in what will be what is a pretty much an unknown empire back in the 700 AD called the Khazars. Like I said, they were in the Caucasus Mountains. These are Edomites. Keep going.
And Judaism became the state religion of the Khazars.
This is how these people became Jews, right? Keep going.
No doubt their contemporaries were as astonished by this decision as modern scholars, where when they came across the evidence in the Arab, Byzantine, Russian, and Hebrew sources, one of the most recent comments is to be found in a work by the Hungarian Marxist historian Dr. Antal Bartha. His book on the Magyar society in the 8th and 9th centuries has several chapters on the Khazars, as during most of that period, the Hungarians were ruled by them. Yet their conversion to Judaism is discussed in a single paragraph with obvious embarrassment. It reads,
we don't have to read it all, King. I just wanted to pull that fact out that this is where you got the heritage of the Jewish people. This is why they don't call themselves Israelites. This is why they call themselves Israeli, and this is why they call themselves Jewish, right? They are Edomites from the Caucasus Mountains. Can you pull up Esther chapter 8 verse 17 right quick?
Come on.
I ain't gonna make this real long because I know we getting ready to shut down. We've been on here for a while, but I just wanted to bring up a couple points right quick to kind of tie into what we've been going over.
The book of Esther, chapter 8, verse 17, it said, and in every province and in every city, whithersoever the king's commandment and his decree came, the Jews had joy and gladness, a feast and a good day. And many of the people of the land became Jews, for the fear of the Jews fell upon them.
You see that? So converting to the faith of the Hebrews, or converting to the faith of the Israelites, it wasn't nothing new. You see that? Even during the Persian Empire, you had people converting over, becoming what you would basically call Jewish, because they weren't Israelites by bloodline, but they converted over due to some of the things that was going on in the Persian Empire. They seen the strength of the Israelites, and they seen the strength of the Most High God.
Khan, let me read this real quick, Salakia. In the NIV, it says, and many people of other nationalities became Jews because fear of the Jews, the real Jews, had seized them.
You see that? So brothers and sisters, I know a lot of our brothers and sisters know this info. I just wanted to shed some light on it. Brothers and sisters kind of first coming into the truth, just learning. I figured this might be some good points to bring to the lesson. One more precept I wanted to bring out, and I'm going to pass it. Can you give me Genesis chapter 10, verse 13?
Come on.
Because I'm just shedding light on who these so-called Jews are, these Jewish, right? And this right here is going into the people in Palestine today, right? Like the people in Palestine, right? We know that word Palestine comes from the word Philistine, right? That's the same land, Gaza, Gath. Like this was the land of the Philistines. You see that? Start at 13 and read 13 and 14.
Gone. The book of Genesis, chapter 10, verse 13. And Mizraim,
And
and Mizraim.
Salakia. So we know Mizraim, right? That's the progenitor of the Egyptians. These are going into the lineage of Ham, and this is going into the lineage of Mizraim, which was one of the sons of Ham. You see that? Keep going.
And Mizraim begat Ludim, and Anamim, and Lehabim, and Nephtuhim, and Pathrusim, and Casluhim, out of whom came Philistim, and Caphtorim.
You see that? So the Philistines, they're Hamitic people. They were what we would call Africans today. They come out of the lineage of Mizraim. You see that? So how in the world are those people over there? They call themselves Palestinian, but we know that they're not Hamites, right? They have to either be Ishmael, they could be Ottoman Turks. You see that? These aren't Hamites, right? So even they are kind of going into a different nationality. You see what I'm saying? They're not they're calling themselves Palestinians, right? But they're not from the lineage of Philistines. You see that? They're from the lineage of either Esau or either Ishmael.
Hey,
Hey,
you leave it up to
Salakia.
Emery. You leave it up to Emery. That's Ishmael.
Hey, Salakia. Hey, that's powerful too. What he bringing out, because I mean that's the same thing with a lot of different, countries in Africa. You got them Ishmaelites taking over, claiming to be like Egypt. Like you might hear some Ishmaelites say, "I'm Egyptian" or "I'm from Egypt." But like the brother going into, we know they're not the original Egyptians, but
Mhm.
they claim to be Egyptian or Sudanese or whatever country in Africa, that they dwell at now.
Khan. When you go into First Maccabees and it starts talking about after Alexander died, his captains took over, right? And then one of them, Ptolemy, went to where? Egypt.
Yeah, Salakia. That's one thing that people don't think about. Like the people living in America today, they're not indigenous to America, right? They ruled and they conquered. People don't think about conquest and rulership when they think about history. Just because the people's living in the land today, that don't mean that they've always dwelled in that land, right? That's not
Mhm.
their biblical land. That's not the land of their forefathers. So we have to keep that in mind. And that was a big point that I was trying to bring. Just because they live in Israel today or Palestine today, they haven't always lived in that land. At one point, people took that land over, just like they took over America. I was gonna close it out with Isaiah 2, but the brother already brought that
Yeah.
up. So yeah, that I just wanted to shed some light on why you hear people saying, "Well, those are not the real Jews." Right? I was just shedding some light on those points, and I yield.
Hey, Salaki Shapar. That's powerful, man. Can I bring out a precept to kind of add on to that?
Bring it up.
Khan, this is Genesis 4, and let me do 13 and 14. And Cain said unto the Lord, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, that thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth, and from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me.
And now, look, what you just read, right? That's even a cut to all these Christians that believe that Adam and Eve, were the only two people in the world. Who is Cain afraid of? If they were the only three people, because he had just killed Abel. So if he just killed Abel, then the only other two people are going to be his parents. So that just shows you that there are other people in the world, right? The Lord didn't just make Adam and Eve, right? He made many, many people. He just separated Adam and Eve from everybody else. But you'll never hear that in the church.
Khan.
Powerful, powerful, powerful. That's all y'all brothers got.
King.
Hey, I know the cap is sitting on some diamonds over there. Cap, what you got? Oh man, he probably eating some food.
That's all good, King. We can start to shut it down.
Con. Well, look, I hope that our brothers and sisters, right, that have been watching and listening and taking notes and paying attention and observing everything that is going on in the world today and everything that we've covered, can appreciate the work that we try to do, right? We do this first and foremost for the Lord, of course, right? But we also do it because we love our people, right? And we want to make sure that our people are in the know of what's going on, right? You may have some brothers and sisters that just came in this thing and they don't know what the heck is going on, right? They were told that they're an Israelite and, well, what do I do next? Well, hopefully we can help, guide the way of understanding, right? We can answer questions. If anybody has any questions, you can always throw it in the chat. We'll try to answer it to the best of our ability. We had a brother earlier. Right here. This brother Lewis, right? He was asking earlier about Salakia. Let me go back up there. Well, first he was asking about Asian people, if they're a part of the 12 tribes. They could be, right? We don't know. Our people are scattered to the four corners of the earth. One way we could tell is, the spirit got to bear witness. What else was he asked? Oh, Cornelius. Any of you brothers want to go into a quick breakdown on Cornelius and if he was an Israelite or not?
I got the precept for it.
It should be real easy. It's it's a real easy breakdown. What do you want to pull up, King?
Acts 10 and 22.
Okay. 10, 22. All right. It says, and they, the book of Acts, chapter 10, verse 22, and they said, Cornelius, the centurion, a just man.
Right
and
there.
One,
Right there. Boom. A just man.
right.
Who could be the just people?
Only Israelites.
You feel me?
Right? You go back to Psalms 147:19, and it says that the law was only given to Israelites. So Cornelius was a centurion. If you put it in modern day, Cornelius would be a police officer, an Israelite who's a police officer. That's what Cornelius is, right? And Cornelius was sent, he sent his was it 3 friends, if I remember correctly? He sent 3 friends to go pick up Peter, right? So Peter thought, because Peter was having a dream, and the dream was about food, right? But later on, if you keep reading in that chapter, Peter distinguishes that his dream wasn't about food, but it was about people. It was about men, right?
I was gonna say, so if you read right there in Acts, like I could read it for you real quick.
Yeah, come on. Where you want me to
go? Acts 10 and 2, where it says about Cornelius, it says a devout man, right? Man. So that's Acts 10 and 2. We're saying he's a devout man and one that feared God. And then he's an Israelite, because when you go to Acts 2 and 5, if I'm correct, where it says Jews, devout men of every nation.
Mm-hmm. Right. Oh, where's that? Let's see. Where is it that Peter breaks it down? Surname Peter, no respect to the person. Salakia.
Verse 28.
Verse 28. Okay, so like here it is. And he said unto them, ye know how that is unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation. But God has showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean. Right? So Peter had already had a dream regarding unclean foods, clean and unclean food. So what his dream was about was meeting Cornelius, right? Meeting the three people that came to him to bring him to Cornelius, right? And the Most High is not going to deal with somebody that isn't of Israel.
Khan, if you go right there to verse 30 and 31, well, 31 says that Cornelius's prayer was heard. Now, the only prayers heard from God are, well, the children of Israel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I hope we broke, we explained it a little better for you. If you want, shoot us an email. Got the email at the bottom, YahwehsCampRaleigh@gmail. Send us an email if you're still unsure, and we can go in more depth. We'll set up a time and a date where we can just go into more depth. But we're gonna shut it down. We hope you enjoyed this Warzone Wednesday. What can we say? I'm Brother Mahar. I guess we'll let the other brothers.
Hey, Shalom, this your brother Shapar.
Hey, Shalom Israel, this your brother Kazak.
Hey, Shalom, Israel. Ya tú sabes que lo que, mi gente. It's your brother Shabbat. We here, we trying to wake all people up. Ya tú sabes que lo que ustedes tienen que levantarse y arrepentirse. Y tienen que escuchar los mandamientos de Dios.
If you want a translation, he said it's time to repent. It's time to wake your ass up. Excuse my French. And it's time to come back to your heavenly Father, more or less. King Yashawan.
And Shalom, Israel, this brother Yashawan.
Hey, and with that, we are Yahweh's camp. Shalom, Israel.
Yashar.